Yo, it's M0YKS and I'm back with you. I've got this today. This little beauty's just arrived. So yeah, inside this should be what I've been waiting for quite a while there. So, well, about 2 weeks. So yeah, let's get it opened up and have a look and see what's in it. Right, so let's get this opened up and see what we've got. So yeah, I got recommended that I pick this up from another amateur guy who operates through the birds, a guy from China. So I'll find his call sign shortly later and let you know his name. So let's see what it's like. It's well packaged, it's coming from overseas, and it's hopefully all in good order. So nicely sealed. We're getting to the exciting bits. So well, let's just pick up there. So flip this box over and have a look and see what we've got in there. So I'm revealing the first bit. We've got some instructions for the rotor controller calibration. So that's the basic instructions. Looking at that, obviously I need to have a proper look through that and see what we can do. So it's all in English, so that's good. So yeah, that's the first bit of stuff in the box. Put that down out of the way. So in here we've got a USB. Oh, this is for a different type of rotator, I believe. So it works on a couple of different models. So that's the cable for that. Control cable. Maybe it'll be a control cable for a radio. This is probably the cable I'll be using. So that's your serial 232 connector. And then we've got this cable. This is the cable which I was thinking whether it had come with it, and it does, so that's good. This is for the rotator itself, the unit, so that'll plug into the new interface and the rotator, so that's great. And then again, I didn't expect it to get a power supply unit, so that's another bonus. So that's a little power supply unit, and it's putting out 12 volts out, so maybe I'll just use one of my own supplies, but it's nice to have. And then here is the unit. So this is the one end of it, the back I think. So it's got the inputs for the 8-pin, I think, or whatever it is. I think it's an 8-pin on this side from the rotator, and then that's your power in. And then this side is the control unit. So we've got the serial 232 connector, and you can actually connect this to Bluetooth. So yeah, I've seen them on the internet, but I've got it direct. So yeah, pretty pleased about that. So that's the situation so far. We'll have a look and see what it looks like when I get it set up. Okay, I've got the back of the control unit, and this is the G5500 from Yaesu. And as you can see, I've got the wiring for the azimuth and the elevation. That's how it's wired. And then right down there we have got the external control, which I'm just going to plug in the cable, and that will then link it to the interface. So that's just a quick shot there of the cable plugged in. Easy enough, straightforward, push on and play, and that's it. So that's that part completed. So now that cable's plugged in, I can have a closer look at this now and get the unit out, the interface, and get ready to do the next stage of this little setup. So yeah, this is it. That's a bit of a better look at it.
Dad, how much do you care about your family, or how much do you like cake?
How much do I like cake? Oh, my family. Well, it's a question I've been asked there. Do I like cake or family the best? Which one is it?
I can choose both.
I can choose both, so I'll go with cake and family. Okay? Thank you. So this is the interface,
Oh, that's fine.
and that is looking pretty swish. That's the front of the interface and the back. So I'm just going to plug the same DIN plug which I just showed you into this one here, like that, and then the power's going to go in there. So that's going to sit on top of this control unit
right now.
So now I just need to line this up carefully, make sure that goes in, which it went in pretty snug. So that's going to sit on top of there.
Let's go back to the lasers.
And then that will have a serial connector going into the front of that to the PC, which is just under here. And then I'll have a power lead probably coming from my main power supply unit rather than the little one. And that should be good to go to test the software. So we'll just see what goes on when I pull my computer out now and select a USB port. What I'm going to be using, I did have the choice of getting a USB input. I could have gone for a straightforward USB input and not bother with a RS2 323 cable, but I wanted the serial port because I figured that I might try it on a different laptop at some stage. I've got a couple of older laptops with the serial connectors, so I just figured that, you know, I've got this, so it's not really a problem. So this is the latest chipset, USB to serial port adapter. It's important you get the correct chipset, the current one for whatever PC you're using. I'm using a fairly up-to-date PC, and it's a Windows 10. So this one is supposedly going to operate on Windows 10. It's a fairly nice length. That's important to consider as well. I got this one off an eBay seller who actually was a licensed ham, so I didn't realise when I bought it, but I saw his call sign of G Station, so good job on that. And I'm going to be plugging that into my PC and plugging that into the front of there. So that's how it's going to all pan out. What I've got now is I've got this cable, and
Wait, Josh,
it's plugged into the. It's going to go into the back as a power source. It's got this same fitting as what's come with the built-in transformer. So what I need to make sure is I get the polarity correct, so the positive and the negative connection. So I'm going to use the power supply unit from Yaesu, and what I'm going to do is use my multimeter. So I'm going to grab a wire, because they're both the same colour, they're both black, so there's no obvious wire. So using the multimeter, which is this piece of kit here, I'll set the settings to 200k audible sound.
You see what I mean?
And I'm just going to short out a wire against one electrode, get the other electrode and touch the side of there.
Josh, you made an excuse like I told
and there it is. So that's the negative connection, because that's on the outer of the plug. The inner terminal will be this wire, and if I put that cable inside there,
doesn't mean you control.
You can hear that making the connection.
Well, we'll
so
just leave the party and not talk to you.
Really useful piece of kit. Every amateur should have one of these. Voltage and amps and resistance testing meter. So a good bit of kit, not too expensive. Use mine for everything, for coaxial soldering, checking that I've got no short circuits. And then I also measure resistance on resistors. So I fix my amplifier by checking that the resistor was giving the correct reading, and it turned out that it was actually giving less resistance because it slightly melted, so putting more voltage through. Found that out using this. So a good bit of kit. So now I know which is the right wire, I can go ahead and continue assembling up this unit, and we're nearly there to see if we can get it working. Carefully connect these into the power supply unit now, and later on I'll probably put an inline fuse.
Come on, please, Jake. Will we live here?
So yeah, I've got a decent power supply unit. It's the FP1030 30 amps unit. I've got another one. I've got a 50 amp unit. Well, I've got a few actually. You can never have too many. So yeah, I'll neaten up all the cables shortly. Right now I just want to see what's going on. So I can connect this unit up now. So I'll put the power supply in the back.
But Jake, do you want to live there?
And that's in there.
Instead of
like so. And now I'm going to put the serial connector, which has now been connected up to the computer. I'll just let you have a better look at that. So the PC is just under there. Here's a keyboard for it, and this is going to connect onto this part like so. Like I said, I could have got a USB one. There's a Bluetooth, USB, and there's also a Wi-Fi one as well. There's different models depending on what your personal requirements, what you want. But I figured this was going to be the best option for what I wanted.
Quite rich.
But I think I'd have managed with a Bluetooth, USB one quite nicely as well. But at least now I can, if I decide that I want to use my laptop at any stage rather than my main PC, it will be quite an easy kind of carry on. So I'll move that into position, get that back how it should be. I can do a bit more tidying up in a little while. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fire up the software. I'm going to probably start off trying it out on Orbitron, and then I'm going to have a quick read of them instructions, which are pretty decent because they actually have different software programs installations such as Orbitron, PC, SAT32. So whichever version you're using, there's a set of instructions to correspond and set it up. So I'm going with what I'm using, which at this current time will be Orbitron. So I'm just going to have a quick go and see if we can get it working, and we'll have a look at it in a second. Right, I'm just recalibrating my elevation at the minute. If you can see the data there, it's giving a readout, so I'm changing the elevation manually at the second. It's 52.49. It's reading it quite nice now. So it's an easy way to calibrate this using this particular software, which is GS232B/RTC-200 setup 2.0. This is what you've got to do to calibrate the interface and get it reading the correct degree settings from the control unit. So we've got a 0 now, and that's looking okay. So according to the data from the calibration software, I should be 0 elevation and 324 on the azimuth, which is looking somewhere near. Right, I'm going to just give it a little test now, so I can run this bit of software just here and see whether we can get any response. So I'll click on that, and that should bring the control unit into line, which it has done. So I'll just show you a bit better detail. So now you can see the units corresponding. We should get 45 degrees elevation, and we should end up with 180 on the actual azimuth with a bit of luck, and it should knock off by itself. So we're at 45. That seems to have stopped okay, and hopefully that'll stop at 180. Oh yes, looking good. So now I've just got to track this satellite now, which is FunCube AO73, and I'm using the software from Orbitron, and there's the frequencies, there's the azimuth and elevation position, and the software to make it work is WISP DDE, which has been selected and downloaded, and that is needed, which basically looks a little bit like this. So that's that software, FunCube AO73 selected with the correct frequency, and I can update the rotor, and hopefully we'll get some movement. So that is supposed to be moving now. It's supposed to be set to 24 degrees, which I would say is pretty accurate. It's supposed to be 259 degrees, so that's a little bit out. That's supposed to be moving, so I'm not sure whether I need to just tweak around with it a little bit more. I'll lock it on there and update the rotor, and yeah, that's doing it for me. So it's just a case of getting familiar with all this, obviously. So I'm going to put the bird on and see whether we can hear it, and see what happens with that. So hopefully that should do it by itself. My frequency is supposed to be coming down, so I've got the wrong frequency showing on the software, which I'll look at that in a minute. So a bit more playing around to do. So yeah, I just need to get it to talk to the software automatically, and we'll be in business, because it seems to be working. So I'll just have to look into setting it up a bit better now. So we've got the basics going. A little bit more playing around, and we'll come back and see if I can get it working perfectly. So hopefully we've got the correct information now, data talking correctly. We're looking at 4.5 elevation at the minute and 333 degrees, so things are looking a bit more what we're wanting. The elevation is staying correct, and the azimuth is going to the correct setting of 332 and stopping. So yeah, the unit's working nicely. It's on auto track at the minute, and I'm auto tracking FO29. So FO29 coming in over there, and the information is down there. So 329 degrees and 3.4 elevation, dropping down. As you can see, we've got the same readings on the unit, and yeah, we're getting a little bit of data coming through off the unit as it adjusts the correct azimuth to compensate for the birds. So yeah, it's working. Didn't take too much sussing out. A couple of packages and away we go. So I've got the unit auto running right now. SO50's coming past. So I'm just going to sit back and see what happens. I might even make a contact, try it out. So far we're straight on it, auto, hands free. Put it straight in there. Excellent. This is SO50. Never had it so easy. What am I going to do with my hands now? Mike 0 Yankee Kilo Sierra. Echo Alpha 3 Golf Papa Kilo. Echo Alpha 3. Mike 0 Yankee Kilo Sugar. Yeah, very good, Peter. Your 5 and 9 Italy Oscar 9-3 Charlie uniform. I'm just trying out a new unit interface. Seems to be working much easier. 73. So yeah, I'm pretty chuffed with this. It's much better. So yeah, the actual correspondence is the same as the software that we're looking at. It's working pretty good. All I've got to keep an eye on is the frequency now, which is a bit easier. Still getting into it. So yeah, working extremely well. Yeah, Roger, this is Mike 0 Yankee Kilo Sierra. Thanks for the call. You're 5 and 5 Italy Oscar 9-3 Charlie uniform, over. QSL, the Echo India 3 station, I've got you there. Echo India 3 Echo Whiskey, M0 YKS, 5 and 5, Italy Oscar 9-3 Charlie uniform. Yeah, Roger, losing the path a little bit. Many thanks. Catch you on the next one from M0 YKS. Thank you. So that wasn't too bad, was it, for a first attempt? I can still hear the device working away. The relays are clicking as it's moving the position of the antenna. So I'm pretty impressed with the first go of this new little device. Made life a lot easier for me, hands-free. So yeah, excellent stuff. Pretty chuffed with the way it's going so far. So we'll have a little play again with it and see what else we can do. So the next bird's coming into position. It's currently at 199, so it's just moving itself to the correct azimuth position of 199, and then it'll be sitting waiting for it to come over. So there we have it. It's XW2B with also AR27 closely behind it, and we're just tracking that one right now to see what's going on. So yeah, I'm on an SSB bird now. I've got my CW key. I'm straight in there, so that's okay. I'll just move my frequency, get it somewhere near. QRZ, 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 CQ, QRZ, 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 Mike 0, Yankee, Kilo, Sierra. So yeah, it's working quite nicely. I'll wait for a better SSB pass, and we'll probably be getting into them very easily. So yeah, I just want to say thanks to BA4 Tango Baker, Bravo Alpha 4 Tango Baker, who sent me the link in the first place to get the little unit. So yeah, all installed, working well. I had to download a couple of extra software programs to run alongside Orbitron, and one to calibrate it and one to do the drivers. So all pretty straightforward, and I'll just run through it all with you again and show you what they are. I'll just give you a quick refresher. So the software's Orbitron, and that's a free download, and you can control the satellite's position and the frequency, downlink and stuff like that. Information can be found on the bottom panel. There's various satellites to work on Orbitron. You've got to update the Keplerian elements, the TLEs, and keep it up to date. And then from there you need to install the next program, which is WISP DDE, and with this program you can set up your settings for your rotator system. You can automatically track the satellite with the correct coordinates and azimuth and elevation information. So that's how that works. There's a couple of extra boxes you can open up by opening up on the settings up here. Once you've pressed the boxes, you've got information like this, which I found, which basically the query box there is quite a good one, where you can alter the time. So the 20 seconds is what I've got mine set to, so it doesn't update it too regularly clicking away, otherwise your rotator's going to get too warm. So I've got mine set to 20 seconds. I might adjust it later, but that's what I'm starting at. Give it a try. And then this side we've got the COM port settings. So mine's on COM port 3 on the PC. Tells you the interface type, the baud rate, which is 9600. Step degrees, I've got it set to 1 degrees, and on my rotator goes to 450 degrees as opposed to 360. And then we've got the azimuth park up position for when I'm finished, so it goes to 270, a couple of degrees up, and that's all that business. So that's on the WISP DDE software, which you need to talk to the actual unit from the satellite software which you decide to use. And then finally I had to download this one, which is written by the manufacturer of the device, I believe, another Chinese amateur station, and I found the information via a thread on a web page which was on here. So it was these guys were chatting about it on the radio club, the HF5L radio club page. So thanks very much, guys. I read through the threads which were basically going on about the various controllers and interfaces you can buy for the different satellite rotator systems. So I went through until I found the information for the one I was looking at. So there's the unit, and tells you a little bit about it, and then the instructions on how to set it up for that particular type of rotator. And then for the rotator that I chose was this one, the G5500. So once you do that, you just follow the online instructions, which were pretty easy, and this was the method that I used to calibrate the actual box with the interface, the rotator box. And the rotator unit, so it's got the correct reading. I actually replaced a potentiometer on my elevation system a few years ago for a different brand with a 500k pot, so it was definitely reading a false reading. So now I've managed to get all that calibrated, and I did it using this program here, so that's how I got the information. The program here, you flick that on, it'll find what COM port you want to check. I don't want to check COM port 4, I want to check COM port 3, but I've already done it, so I don't really want to start messing around. So once you've done all that, you can go through these adjustments here where you're adjusting your rotator system and your elevation system. You put the 0 in, you put 360 degrees in, you control the antenna with the manual selections to get those settings. Once they've been obtained, they get saved, and then you get a lot of data coming up when you press this read set button, and it's pretty straightforward. So that's what I use, and it's all free, and it worked a treat, and I've got everything working fine. So the unit's installed there. As you can see, it's on standby, it's just updating. There's a satellite in range, but not for a while, so it's below the horizon. At the moment, the antenna position is just above north, so it's 0 degrees waiting, and in 20 seconds time the red light will come back on, it'll update, there you go, and reposition the antenna for me. So that's the situation. So yeah, a little bit of a mess around in the shack, getting technical, really enjoyed it. Setting it up, it didn't take long really, it took me about 10 minutes to wire it, and probably about an hour of messing around, reading a couple of posts and just going through the basics. So take your time if you decide to get one when you're setting it up. Read the instructions in the paperwork, which are pretty good, but you do need a couple of other programs just to calibrate it for your particular unit, but they're all free, so it's not a problem. So great to have been able to show you the unboxing of this new device, and I'm very pleased with the purchase. So once again, thanks for the recommendation, and I'm going to be playing now on these satellites hands-free. Catch you on the birds. This is M0YKS checking in with the new G323B interface for satellite rotor control, automatic. Catch you soon.